Hi people, Morino Ravenberg here again. This is going to be a short video and more of an elaborative video in relation to treasure hunting with spirits. Um, you can check for links in the description below. When I went treasure hunting and I worked with a spirit, an angel, a Jupiterian angel called Alexander. Long story short, that trip turned out to be a dud, but I had no regrets, and I was given locations to precious metals in my country of residence, um, of gold and diamonds and whatnot. And I went on two separate expeditions or mini expeditions. And in the first case, where there was supposed to be gold, I found gold dust embedded in clay that was unextractable. And that was the case primarily. And secondarily, with the second trip, I didn't find diamonds, but I highly suspect that diamonds were I think a couple of meters beneath the soil, or not even a couple of meters, maybe less than a meter even, maybe 50 centimeters, half a meter, or something like that. I strongly suspect that. But I just wanted to go into detail about this, and also in relation to other people, the other occultists or magicians that might have an interest in treasure hunting in general. What you need to keep in mind is that the most important thing, because as far as I know, no one has succeeded in doing something like this. With me, I recognized my own fault only after I had committed the deed, but I just left treasure hunting because I said to myself, it's not worth it. And honestly, I'm done with new projects altogether. So this was last year. This was literally last year. I think the beginning of last year. So yeah, we are definitely we're definitely a year down the road. Um, and bottom line is, for me personally, it's not worth it. Okay, you can focus on plenty of other practical things to make money, a business, whatever you want to do. Treasure hunting, I like the idea, but it's not worth it without a surefire guarantee. But in my case, like I said, only after I had actually, as the saying goes, you live and you learn. Only after I had actually if I, only after I had actually committed the deed did I understand, what went wrong and why I wasn't successful, why it was a swing and a miss, more or less. Okay, it wasn't a far miss, but it was still a miss. The reason is simply that the energy that I offered was not equivalent to the results that I was seeking. And that's also that you need to keep in mind in general. You can expect in such a case, for example, to offer, for example, $1,000 in terms of energy, and then receive half a million by finding a treasure that's worth half a million. That's how it all works. So if you want to be as successful as possible when it comes to treasure hunting and finding precious items and artifacts, you need to work with the spirit, and you need to make offerings of a tremendous nature. And that's also, now I remember, that's also why I stopped with it, because I said to myself, no, that's not worth it. I'm definitely not going to offer like what, $20,000, $30,000. I'm not going to offer buckets of money, so to speak, to find treasure. And even then, there's not really a surefire guarantee, although you should have a 99% success ratio. I'm sure, for example, in my case, if I had, let's just say, if I had made tremendous offerings, we're talking about $100,000 worth of offerings, I would have found treasure, guaranteed. This is something that I did not share with people in the first video. I got a lot of other locations from the spirit that I worked with back then, the angel that I worked with. I even got the location to where dinosaur eggs could be found in my location. Yeah, I even got the locations, the geographical coordinates for dinosaur eggs, and of course, I didn't do anything. I stopped at the second expedition because it wasn't worth it, like I said. But in general, this is something very important that you need to keep in mind when treasure hunting. Okay, generally speaking, your treasure hunt will not be a success until, it's also the same for every occult working by that matter. But in this case, we're specifically focusing on treasure hunting. It will not be a success if the energy that you've offered to the spirit as a means of payment is not equivalent to the success that you expect, regardless of the occult venture. It's the same thing with general occult workings. You can expect to, for example, work with a spirit for making money in general, and then offer that spirit $100 and then expect a lot more, as in $1,000 worth of work, for example. You offer $100 to a spirit, and that spirit will see to it that you make, that spirit will direct you to a job or a career like venture that will offer you, for example, $1,000 in terms of income a month. No, that's unreasonable. That's like me doing $1,000 of work, worth of work. Just an example, $1,000 worth of work, or handiwork. For example, I'm a handyman. I come over to your house. Your toilet is clogged. Your yard needs landscaping. The plumbing needs to be checked. And my price tag for everything is $1,000, and you only expect to pay me $100. It's being underpaid. Okay, that's the phrase you need to keep in mind here. Underpaid. And it's the same thing with any spirit that you work with. It's underpaid. You can't possibly expect the spirit to provide you with with $1,000 in worth in terms of energy when you've only offered or paid that spirit $100 in terms of energy. Now it's give and take. The basics, okay, trade, give and take. And if you want tremendous successes, then you'll have to make tremendous offerings and invest tremendous amounts of time and energy and whatnot into all of this. That's just food for thought. So, yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. Bye.